Coming up on Network Africa, authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo say they found 10 more mass graves in the Kasai province. Al-Shabaab militants hunt for one of their former leaders, Sheikh Mukhtar Abu Mansour, who the armed group believes is planning to surrender to the Somali authorities. And Libyans in Misrata hit the streets to buy gifts for Eid al-Fitr, despite the economic woes in the country. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Joke Rogers. About 10 more mass graves have been discovered in the Kasai province of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Army Prosecutor General Joseph Ponde says that he believes the murders had been committed by units of the Kamwina Nsapu militia, which is fighting the military. Last week, the UN had highlighted the continuing slaughter in the province, saying 2,000 civilians had been killed in the past 3 months. Separately, the UN has criticized the decision of a Congolese military tribunal not to prosecute 7 soldiers for crimes against humanity. They will still be tried for murder, but the tribunal ruled that because no war had been declared in the Kasai province, they could not face war crime charges. They were allegedly filmed shooting at unarmed civilians. In the Horn of Africa, reports say Al-Shabaab militants are searching for one of their former leaders, Sheikh Mukhtar Abu Mansour, who had a $5 million bounty removed by the United States Department several days ago. The armed group believes that Abu Mansour is planning to surrender to the Somali federal government, which they oppose and are searching for his hideout. Abu Mansour was a former deputy leader of Al-Shabaab and also served as the organization's spokesman. He is believed to be hiding in southwestern Somalia. Somali officials say he had attended jihadist training camps in Afghanistan. However, disagreement emerged between him and other Al-Shabaab leaders some time ago and is thought to be holding indirect talks with the government. Let's get more on the story from security expert Chidi Nwanu, who joins us live from London. You're welcome to the program. Let's begin with the report from Somalia on the possibility that a former Al-Shabaab commander may surrender and frantic search for him by the group. Do you believe this report?
It's very difficult to assess the believability of this report, but the fact that the United States has dropped their reward for justice of $5 million for them, it does indicate that there might be an element of truth to this. However, he is still on the sanctioned list, so it might be that there are negotiations that are ongoing.
If Abu Mansour does indeed surrender to the Somali federal government, what impact do you think this will have on the anti-terror war in the country and, parts of Africa where it's been fought?
It most likely will have a relatively negligible impact on the war as it's going right now. Abu Mansour left Al-Shabaab quite a while ago, so the conflict between him and Al-Shabaab has been going for quite a while. What it does mean, though, is that he will be able to bring at least a knowledge of Al-Shabaab's tactics and procedures to the federal forces, and also he will be able to bring his fighters over to the federal forces. So it will be a boost to the federal forces, but it is not such a massive cut to Al-Shabaab because he was already anti-Al-Shabaab in the first place.
Let's bring it home to Nigeria. Do you agree with those who say that the federal government should dialogue with Boko Haram militants as part of the strategy to end the northeast insurgency?
Yes, in all insurgencies, it is clear that dialogue is one of the key ways in which you will end the war. Virtually every insurgency, from Colombia to the United Kingdom or Northern Ireland, the wars have ended with dialogue. However, that dialogue could only come when military conditions have created the impetus on both sides for that dialogue to be successful. So in Colombia, the FARC were defeated. In the United Kingdom, the IRA were forced to a stalemate. So at the same time as the Nigerian army or the Nigerian security forces seek dialogue with Boko Haram. They also need to ensure that they're putting strong military pressure on Boko Haram to make sure they do come to the negotiating table, and there's an incentive for them to negotiate and hopefully surrender.
Let's wrap this up now. The federal government of Nigeria this time had boasted that it had technically defeated Boko Haram, but how has the group been able to carry out pockets of attacks in the most vulnerable areas? In spite of this, that is.
It's a very good question, because the phrase technical defeated has been controversial, but it is more or less accurate, because Boko Haram has been technically defeated in that it no longer has operational capability to carry out large-scale attacks to occupy territory or to physically counter Nigerian forces. However, what they do still have is the ability to launch attacks against soft targets, markets, schools, small isolated villages. So although they are defeated as a main fighting force, they still retain the capability to conduct terrorist attacks.
Right, thank you for your thoughts on that. Security expert Chidinwanu speaking to us live from London. Thank you for your time.